Our next stuff we'll talk still Jack the Ripper related, but I wanted to ask you some questions because I read this book. I won't say what because I don't want to get like no one in trouble, but they claim that one of the now it is Kosminski that they're claiming as the Ripper, which obviously is one of the big three, but they say
Right.
he was a Freemason. Do you know anything or any truth to that?
No, Kosminski was not a Freemason.
All right, we have debunked it. No, but some of the other things they mentioned, I thought were worth talking about because there was the chalk writing, the Jews were the men not to be,
Right.
and in some accounts of it, it's spelled Ju. What would your like meaning of that be behind that?
Well, the problem with the graffiti is this is the story is in the book is that Warren had it removed, and I can't remember if he had it removed in real life, but the idea was he thought it could start a riot, like a race riot against Jewish people. The problem is we have no idea when that graffiti was placed there. That graffiti could have been placed there 3 weeks, a month before the Ripper murders, and the murder just happened to be around it. Um, Again, the notion that in the movie and in the book, I believe it's a reference that they're saying that the Jews are as a reference to the three murderers of Hiram Abiff. This is, of course, Jebelah, Jebelu, and Jebelam. Um, Again, I mean, it's speculation. I mean, there's no evidence of when this graffiti was written. We don't know who wrote it. We don't know what the motivation was for writing it. I mean, it could have been there weeks before the Ripper murders. And again, just to say that that automatically means, um, what is insinuated in the film. I mean, again, it's speculation at best. I mean, it's just pure speculation. I mean, we don't know, when it was written. And again, I understand it's speculation, and that's fine. But again, I mean, am I convinced of it? No, of course not. I mean, and like I said, the big problem with the whole Jack the Ripper theory is, I mean, there's there's just no evidence of. I mean, it's all like, hoops you have to jump through, and it's all weak. It's all speculation that's tenuous at best. Um, so, I like the stories. I mean, I think they're good, very good movies. But like, again, do I believe any of it? No, no, not at all.
Yeah, like you said, there's I think the thing with the Ripper stuff and why it's still so big is there's no real direct evidence at all, and
No,
that makes it very easy to place whoever you want as the Ripper.
right. I mean, there is. I mean, unless there is some smoking gun out there that we're not aware of. I mean, it will never be known who Jack the Ripper was. I mean, we have a pretty good idea of who it was. It's like the Zodiac killer in San Francisco. I mean, there's evidence to suggest that it was Arthur Lee Allen, and the evidence is pretty strong. That said, I mean, can I say with 100% certainty that the Zodiac killer was Arthur Lee Allen? No, I cannot. We just don't know. Same thing with Jack the Ripper. I mean, the evidence suggested it was this guy Aaron Kosminski, but again, we just don't know. Um, and again, I think that's probably what makes it so fascinating is that because it will never be known, because we are uncertain, and it will never ever be known unless there's some smoking gun out there that gets turned up at this point. But again, I mean, Jack the Ripper and the Zodiac, I mean, happened so long ago now. I mean, I mean, Christ, I mean, when did Jack the Ripper? 1888. So, I mean, it's another century. I mean, and the Zodiac was in the late 60s, 70s. So, I mean, unless there's some smoking gun out there, we'll just never know. But I think, in the end, that's what makes it fascinating is not knowing and speculating. That's what makes it interesting to talk about.
London at the time just was a not very well, I should say Whitechapel, that district, not the best place to be at the time.
No, I mean it was a very poor area. Again, a lot of it, what existed in 1888 does not exist today. Some of it does, but again, no, it was a very poor area. Um, and again, I think that's kind of like what feeds into the Ripper lore with this is why it probably was someone like a Kosminski. It was someone who would have lived there and would have not have stood out and been able to walk around and just have not have stood out. I mean, this idea, I mean, we all have it. This archetypal, image of Jack the Ripper walking around London in a black tuxedo with a black top hat and an opera cape and a cane. I mean, this person would have stood out like a sore thumb. I mean, this guy would not. I mean, if someone was walking around Whitechapel at night in 1888 in an opera cape and a tuxedo, I mean, this person would have been recognized instantly. I mean, what the hell is this guy doing down here? So again, the idea that it was probably just some sort of like, miscreant like Kosminski who would have fit right in. He lived in the area. He knew the area. Um, that seems more of a likely scenario to me than it's some sort of aristocrat coming down to murder women. That seems kind of a stretch. But again, that's what everybody has the picture of in their head.
Right. When you say they would have stuck out, reminded me there's the Cleveland torso murders, and the lead investigator went undercover as like quote unquote a hobo of the time because it was they were killing homeless people. And if you saw the picture, it's very much like they walked off the screen, and it's like he would have stuck out like a sore thumb. Like no wonder the murderer like never. But yeah, why wouldn't the ladies, if they see this guy walking around in a cape, top
Right.
hat, looking sinister, be like, "Yo, some other people got murdered. What am I doing here?" You know?
Right. I mean, there would have been no aristocrats in London going into Whitechapel. I mean, there would have been that would have not been happening. And again, this notion that this person walking around, and I think they do it in front in the. I think it's murder by decree. It's the same sort of thing where, it's Sir William Gull walking around with the black hat, the top hat, the tuxedo, the opera cape. But again, it's a neat. It's the way people vision it, but probably not reality.
Well, and then another thing that I guess is brought up, going back to Warren being a Mason, is maybe he washed away the graffiti to cover up the JU spelling. Do you think that's a possibility at all, or do you think again it's more just cover or to stop like more backlash to the Jewish community that already had so much going on anyway?
I mean, I would say it was definitely be the latter. The backlash against the Jewish community who have been, it's they're always, scapegoats, it seems, no matter what. I mean, even in today's world. But again, Warren is the only one out of the crew that really was a Freemason. I mean, he was. I mean, could it have been, something against Jewish people? I mean, could it have been something? Maybe he was worried that it was anti-Masonic. That's possible. I mean, a lot of the Masonic rituals, especially the third degree, do revolve around Jewish lore and mysticism, certainly involving King Solomon. So again, if there was a notion on his part that this was anti-Semitic, he could have also read into it that it was anti-Masonic, because you know again, the Masonic ritual, the third degree Masonic ritual, does center around the construction of King Solomon's temple, the first temple of God. So um, again, that's certainly possible, but again, we're speculating, but it's certainly interesting, possible, but who knows?
Right. Well, and then there's going back to, I guess, if Kosminski was doing it ritualistically, but you've already mentioned not a Freemason, so why would he be doing it ritualistically? But there was speculation. It says, if we consider the section of the third blood oath, my bowels burnt to ashes in the center, this provides an alternate reason for Kosminski to take the body parts and burn them. Do you find any truth in that at all, or do you think just pure speculation?
Pure speculation. I don't think there was any evidence that any of the body parts were burned. It's mostly the one that people turned to. It had to do with her entrails being put over her shoulder, and I believe that's mentioned also. In the I think that was what Stephen Knight was really relying on. But again, it all falls apart when you realize none of these people were Freemasons.